Hello from South Slovakia. We are now in the town of Nové Zámky, but will soon exit it to explore the flatlands direction Danube Valley to the historical town of Komárno, situated on the Danube. We start in Nové Zámky, an important town with a population of about almost 40,000 inhabitants, situated in the Danubian lowlands on the Nitra river at about 120 meters altitude, some 100 kilometers east of Bratislava, the capital city of Slovakia, and some 25 kilometers north of the border with Hungary, where we are now heading to. It has an interesting history, being for a long time part of the Kingdom of Hungary from the 10th century until 1918. The town developed around the powerful fortress that managed to resist the Ottoman occupation for a long time, but was finally occupied by the Turks in 1663, just for about 20 years until 1685. The fortress was destroyed by the Habsburgs in 1725, as insurrection against the Austrian rule started from here. After the First World War and the breakup of Austria-Hungary in 1918, the town became part of the newly created country of Czechoslovakia. During the Second World War, it was heavily bombed, and the old town suffered a lot of destruction. Nowadays, the town is an important industrial center with many investments here during the last 10-15 years. From Nové Zámky, we drive on the National Road 64 for about 30 kilometers to the town of Komárno. National Road 64 is a relatively long national road in Slovakia. It is over 200 kilometers long from Žilina to Komárno, having a north-south direction. Now we'll explore the southernmost section of it. We are in a flat area, the Danubian plains, at altitudes between 110 and 120 meters. On the way we cross some villages and the small town of Hurbanovo. Traffic was relatively high, as there is a lot of industry in this part of Slovakia. The weather was good, so we could admire the wide open landscapes of South Slovakia. And now let's enjoy the drive with some music, and I'll be back towards the end of the drive to say some words about the town of Komárno, our destination of this trip. Until then, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hello once again, this time from the border town of Komárno, Komárom in Hungarian. The town has a population of about 33,000 inhabitants on the Slovakian side and some 19,000 on the Hungarian side. Komárno is Slovakia's main port on the Danube and is situated as a confluence between Vach and the Danube. Historically it was formed by the old town, present-day Komárno in Slovakia, and by a new town on the right bank, present-day Komárom in Hungary, which were historically one town until after the First World War and the Treaty of Trianon, when the border of the newly created Czechoslovakia cut the historical unified town in half, creating two new independent towns in two countries. Komárno and Komárom are connected by the Elizabeth Bridge, which used to be an official border crossing between Slovakia and Hungary, until border checks were lifted after both countries joined the Schengen Agreement. Komárno is nowadays the center of the Hungarian community in Slovakia, Hungarians making over 50% of the town's population, and also the historical seat of the Serbian minority in Slovakia. Komárno is an old settlement, the castle being built during the 12th century. In the 16th century it became one of the centers of defense against the Ottoman Turks. In the 18th century, after the repulsion of the Turks, it was one of the biggest towns of the country and began to flourish, but was heavily destroyed during the revolution of 1848-1849, when it remained the last bastion of resistance of the Hungarians, but finally had to surrender. After the First World War, the town was divided but continued to develop. During the communist rule, the reconstruction of the shipyards was finished in 1950 and other industrial facilities and residential buildings were built. Nowadays the town is a beautiful one, preserving many historical and cultural sites. The whole modern fortification system represents a very important monument in Slovakia with all well-preserved elements. Besides the main fortress on the Slovakian side, there are three adjacent fortresses on the Hungarian side. Star, Igmand and Monostor. The Euro Palace in Komárno belongs to modern monuments in the Danube region. It is an unusual collection of buildings typical of many European countries. There are also some interesting museums like Danube Region Museum or the town's museum. Also the St. Andreas Cathedral is worth visiting, as many other old buildings in the town center. As you see, there are quite some things to see and do here in this region. And now I will end the video here, as I am parking my car in the town. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more videos from our road trips here on the channel. Bye bye, until the next time.